3, 2, 1.
Hi ITV2, we're One Direction. We're here to tell you about our very own special show.
It's weird to see how much you can fit into a year.
The ITV2 cameras have been with us everywhere. They were always rolling.
You'll get to see the real us.
Backstage on tour, in the studio, even just chilling out.
This whole year couldn't have gone any better.
So join us, Niall,
Liam,
Zayn, Harry and Louis for One Direction, a year in the making. Tonight at 9, exclusively on ITV2 and ITV2 HD.
ITV Player brings you ITV2, amazing telly you can't miss. A year ago, 5 boys each shared the same burning ambition: to become the next singing superstar. This is their story. This is One Direction. Coming up.
It's weird to see how much you can fit into a year, how much stuff you can do.
I never thought I'd get so crazy over a band.
I felt a bit powerless, like I really wanted to do something for a friend, but I couldn't.
I think it's weird to think that a year ago we were sat like here, and just like so much has changed.
In 2010, 5 boys auditioned for the X Factor.
When I was in Dublin, I looked around and there's like 8,000 people at the auditions. I'm thinking, not a hope. You know, there's not a chance of me getting anywhere here.
I can remember just sitting in my computer room and just typing, filling in a form, seeing like a little picture of Simon Cowell on the side, smiling at me, just thinking as I'm entering this form like I might be singing in front of him, sort of thing.
On the day of my first audition, I travelled from Bradford and I got up at like 3, 4 in the morning, and what I wanted from that audition was a yes. I just wanted somebody to tell me I could sing.
I think I got up at about 3, drove down, and there was already a massive queue when we got down to the auditions. Just in this queue for hours. You know, I was just stood with my mum and my friend, and everyone was kind of camped out in tents, and just people sat around with like guitars and stuff. It was really nice.
Liam, Harry, Louis, Niall and Zayn all had ambitions to become solo artists.
When you're on the show and you're stood behind that first curtain to go on stage in front of up to 3,000 people and the 4 judges, there's just so much nerves and excitement.
Well, just to prove that you do, come on and cry me a river. Oh, cry me a river. I cried a river over you.
Absolutely incredible. One massive, fat, almighty yes.
But then came boot camp.
Now, it's boot camp!
Things were about to get a lot tougher for the 5 boys. Liam's nerves got the better of him.
I've messed the words up. Can I start again?
If this happens on stage, the worst thing you can possibly do for me is to start over.
Harry's song choice let him down.
All of the stars are fading away.
When it came to kind of the audition, I probably picked like a really safe song.
Crying your heart out.
When I look back on it now, like it's really annoying because my performance was so boring.
Well, one of the boys had more than a bit of trouble with the dance routine.
Boot camp was a bit difficult for me because they did a new thing where basically they did like a dance kind of thing.
5, 6,
Obviously, I'm not a dancer. And I thought nobody would realise if I went missing, like, because there's so many people there. So I thought maybe if I just go in the back somewhere and hide, I can just disappear.
Zayn discovered there was nowhere to hide.
Zayn, why aren't you out there? Why aren't you out there?
Can't dance.
But you can't just bottle it.
No, but it's just like a new experience. What was like
Zayn, you can't just hide behind here. Zayn, you're ruining this for yourself. I'm trying to help you here.
As Judgment Day arrived, disaster struck.
That's it, guys.
You know, we were still on stage after being told no, and I was kind of stood there and I was thinking, right, what am I going to do now? I'm going to go home. It's going to be a bit awkward when I get home. And just like, what was I going to do? I was just going to go back to school, and that'd kind of be it. Try, ready? I just don't want to go home. I just don't want to go. I'm really gutted.
The worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. Standing there and waiting for your name to be called, and then it's not. Sorry.
But not wanting talent to go to waste, Simon Cowell had a plan.
Myself and Harry were actually outside with our suitcases on the steps of Wembley Arena ready to go home. One of the producers came out and told us to come back.
And they said that we were wanted for interviews. And like looking back, it was surprising that we didn't click on a bit quicker. We were all kind of sat looking like 5 teenage boys that they've kept back.
Zayn Malik, Liam Payne, Harry Styles.
Hello. Hi. We've thought long and hard about it, and we just feel that you're too talented to let go of.
We've decided to put you both through to the judges.
From 5 individuals, One Direction was born.
It was a shock because when I entered the X Factor, no way did I ever think that I was going to end up in the band.
So you had the excitement, obviously, of getting through the competition, but also the excitement of, like, a new project almost.
For me, it was like, I can either go home as a solo artist or I can continue in the competition in a group. And it was a bit of a no-brainer, really. It was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's give it a go. What have we got to lose?
The band faced their first real test at judges' houses.
Nothing's fine, I'm torn. I'm all out of pain. This is how I feel. Cold and I am chained. I'm lying naked on the floor.
Cool, they're relevant.
So cool.
This is going to be a hard decision to do so.
They did enough to impress their new mentor.
You're through.
And made it all the way to live shows.
For me, the best way to, like, capture the live shows in a moment, you've done all your rehearsals all week, you've just been put in the house and whatever else, and then suddenly behind the doors that are just, you know, they're like the catchphrase of X Factor, those doors opening, and being stood behind those and waiting to perform to millions and millions of people has to be the most exciting moment I've had so far, I'd say.
Obviously, you know, we'd worked hard week after week on the live shows, and we felt ourselves progressing and, you know, becoming a group more and more every week.
I think you're the next big boy band. I would love to hear your names read out at the end of the competition because I think you deserve it.
It was the start of One Direction mania.
And for every week for us, there was girls just lining the fence outside. And you kind of put yourself away from it and think, it's amazing to think that all those people are out there waiting for us. You know, and we're just setting out.
as the weeks went on during the live shows, more and more people would start to build outside the studios. And I think the girls became interested.
Signing my first autograph was a bit awkward because I didn't have one. I just didn't know what to do. So I just kind of wrote Harry, just bog standard.
As the weeks went on, we were just having the time of our lives. We had such a great time on the show, and we were getting through each week, and more fans are coming outside the studio, and I'm just a normal 19-year-old guy from Doncaster, of all places, you know. I don't know.
Every single week we went out there, we had fun, every single week.
Simon's group made it all the way to the X Factor final.
The incredible Robbie Williams!
So much fun! Just when you thought it couldn't get more exciting, out come the boys and then Robbie.
That was a magic moment. Just magic. You could see it on their faces.
I've got 12 months to take that, and then I'm having 3 years in One Direction.
I don't think for a second we ever thought we were going to win. It just seemed too far-fetched. But we just really wanted to do the best that we could and just see what happened.
When it came to the final, and Dermot said the person left in the competition is
Rebecca!
It was pretty hard to hear.
Some people would say, like, you know, you guys don't have to win, you're going to be fine. But for me, it was as straight as we needed to win. I really wanted to win, and I thought that, you know, we needed to win.
But Simon decided it wasn't the end of the road for One Direction.
We didn't know what to expect because Simon had made it very clear from the start that, you know, he was only going to sign the winner.
This is just the beginning for these boys.
With the day we got signed by Simon. And it was kind of that moment where we were sat in front of him and we were all wondering why we're there, sort of thinking what's going to happen next.
Simon has this thing where he brings you down to bring you back up, or opposite. He brings you up to bring you back down. And he started telling us that, you know, we were a risk and blah 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 and all this stuff. And then he just said, but Sony Music will be taking you on in the morning.
And, we were all just over the moon because, you know, we'd been signed and that's what we wanted to do.
Zayn, what's going to happen to One Direction now?
We're definitely going to stay together. This isn't the last of One Direction.
Right, please. Speed. Twirling.
Roll playback.
One Direction had their record deal, but there was still a massive challenge ahead, which was making their first single and album.
You know, when you're a kid, you don't think, oh, this is never going to happen. I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to sing in the shower, I'm going to do that. But you never expect to come out with a record deal and end up recording an album.
On the beat, innit? Yeah, have that feeling. Because now it sounds like you're driving the track as opposed to you're just sitting on it.
Sometimes I stand in front of the microphone, I turn, I just smile a little bit, just think, you know, this is my job. This is actually what I do for a living now. And it's what I've always wanted.
You know, a few months ago I was sat at this tiny little village doing a bit of work in the bakery, and now I was in a recording studio recording a song that could be our first single.
Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful.
When we heard that song with our vocals, we were like, that's the one.
There was no arguments between those 5 lads. Like, we knew straight away which one represented us the best and the most exciting and, you know, a little bit different.
We're pretty proud of the album that we have, and hopefully it goes on to do big things.
So One Direction had recorded their first single, and now they needed everyone to hear it.
So this morning, live, Scott Mills, Radio 1, okay? This is the first time it's ever been played. This is a world exclusive. This is where it all starts.
Yeah, buddy! It's like everyone's been so patient waiting for us and waiting for the record, so like now it's finally going out. I'm just hoping we meet the expectations we've set ourselves, really.
Enjoy it, boys! Get in there! For the first time, anywhere in the actual world, it's called What Makes You Beautiful. Here it is. Ah!
You're insecure, don't know
soon as it'd been played on Radio 1, we travelled all over Britain trying to get all the stations to play it.
One Direction here! One Direction here! One Direction
It was insane, and we had, you know, thousands of fans waiting for us.
Do you get mobbed all the time?
You get the same crowd following you around.
The Meet promo was just a really exciting time.
Oh my God, look at me!
On a day-to-day basis, you know, we do get that sort of reaction from girls and stuff, and that's phenomenal.
Sorry. High five. All right, mate. High five.
And everywhere they went, the boys gave a live performance.
Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know, you don't know you're beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'll understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. Band that can sing and play live as well. Come on.
The day of our release, we went on a helicopter around Britain.
We basically went from London to Glasgow, Glasgow to Manchester. We flew everywhere, all over the country.
All the things that we get to do and the life that we get to have is just amazing. It's important that we never take that for granted, and you know, we're really lucky to be in the position we are, and we feel really grateful.
So just landed in Glasgow. After that 2.5-hour flight, Zayn has not managed to wake up once. Still asleep, and we've landed.
That day, I think for me, was one of those moments of realisation where we've released our first single, we're going round in a helicopter, being greeted by hundreds of fans at different places who have queued up for hours and hours and hours.
You know, it was about time we started giving back to the fans, going out and meeting them and saying, you know, thanks for waiting around for us. Here it is.
We're here at the first signing. There's so many people, like nearly 1,000 people here, and we're going to sign in an hour and a half as many as we can. Thank you.
I'm praying that your heart will just turn around. And as I walk up to your door, my head turns to face the floor.
Yeah, the fans are obviously a massive part of what we do, and we do what we do for the fans.
For all of us, we can't really get our head around it as such. It's like it's the most flattering thing in the world.
I love Harry's sales so much. I never thought I'd get so crazy over a band, but when they're there, you just get so worked up over them because they're amazing. They're perfect in every way possible.
To have such a big effect on people's lives is such a nice thing.
Coming for the hug.
To know that you can kind of have such a massive effect on somebody's life was really overwhelming.
The reason why the fans are so dedicated is because I think they feel like they can really relate to us. They're like we're the kind of boys that you go to school with, and that's because we are.
Hattie, call me baby. Hattie, call me baby. It's Hattie, my shoulder. If I take the picture, they hold me. And it's a healthy fan. And oh my God, please, it's Hattie. They don't ask me. And now you went, no, I want to hug her. And anyway, I love you. He called me, love me. I need to know what you're doing. When he lays you down, I might just die inside. It just don't feel right.
For me, it's a slow process, if you like, of dealing with girls screaming at me and telling me that they love me with tears rolling down their face. I've never seen anything like this before, and obviously when I was going to school I never had 600-700 girls screaming at me everywhere I went. Sometimes they go to mad lengths to get to see us and stuff. You know, we're very thankful for it and very grateful.
For some people, they feel like they're a part of what we're doing, and I think that they are. Without the fans, there's no reason to be One Direction. You know, if there's nobody supporting you, then there's no point.
When he lays it down, I might just die inside. It just don't feel right. 'Cause I can love you more than this. Yeah. When he opens his arms and holds you close tonight, it just won't feel right. 'Cause I can love you more than this. When he lays it down, I might just die inside. It just don't feel right. 'Cause I can love you more than this. Love you more than this.
We were literally talking about it. We literally have the best fans in the world.
So the song had been played on the radio all over the country, and it was time for One Direction to have their first TV performance of the single on the live show Red or Black.
And here he is!
Here I am!
Man of the moment!
The man of the moment! And actually it's the same studio as the X Factor was, so it was actually really special for us to go back as a band.
Look at this. My birthmark's gone. Which is here. The harsh land of the celebrity world. No space for birthmarks.
Now I'm
No.
I'm a man who does agree with a slight airbrushing, however, taking away one's natural dignity.
The side mole's gone. Over here,
It's-
it's all gone. That's not even me. It's an imposter.
But he is better looking than you.
Although the boys are trying to relax and enjoy the moment, as the day goes on, nerves start to settle in.
We're backstage, we're in the dressing room, and I'm feeling massively sick.
The build-up for Red or Black was big because it was the first time we were back on live TV, the first time we got to perform What Makes You Beautiful.
I think we were all a little bit nervous. We'd never choreographed something before. We'd never done anything like that. We just used to go with the flow a little bit.
We had this massive production, massive performance planned. It was quite a nervous time for me because it was a really high-tempo performance, and then I had my solo, so I really had to try and limit myself to save my breath.
The pressure and the expectation was really, really high. I think he was quite nervous about that part in the song anyway because everything cuts out and then it's a really kind of emotional little moment for him. So he had to find his breath and also fight through the nerves.
It'll be good. Be alright in the night.
Okay. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come on.
Yeah. And then land for it.
Yeah.
When it actually came to the performance, basically I thought about it too much. I psyched myself out of it almost.
Let's just
Let's do it.
make everyone proud. The pressure and the expectation was really, really high. Once you're in the moment and you can feel the pressure and the adrenaline, you just want to smash it.
You don't know you're beautiful. Only you saw what I could see. You'll understand why I want you so desperately. Right now I'm looking at you and I can't believe you don't know. You don't know you're beautiful.
After a nervous day full of rehearsals, now live on primetime television, it was time for Harry's solo.
I knew, even when I looked across to him during the performance after then, that he just wasn't himself after that. And it was really horrible for me to watch because, like, as a friend, I kind of wanted to do something, but I could hardly walk over to him mid-performance and go, "Are you all right, mate?"
When it came to it, he didn't take enough breath. He's got an incredible voice, a really rocky tone, and he knows how to use it. He thought he let everyone down, but no, he didn't. He didn't at all.
It was a massive wake-up call for me. As performances go, it was my low point.
After the performance, we were all really, really happy, but you could tell Harry was upset. Like, you could tell he sat quiet in the car.
I think he texted his mum, and he was texting a few other people, like saying, "Oh, I'm really not happy with my performance."
Harry takes that kind of thing to heart. Harry is one of those people that he doesn't like to read what's said about him, but he does in a way. And he went on Twitter or wherever he went that night, and a lot of people were talking about him.
It was one of those times where you're kind of feeling a bit sorry for yourself, so you're looking for bad comments to kind of make sure that you're right about it being bad. So I went online and had a look at what people were saying about me.
The stuff that people were saying about him was just disgusting, and no one wants to go and read that stuff about themselves, no matter who they are.
And I went on my phone, I actually searched for, I typed in Harry on my phone, and I just read, like, so I read kind of just a massive list of these comments.
It was quite frustrating because when I tried to comfort him after the performance, obviously nothing I can say can really make that much of a difference. I felt a bit powerless, like I really wanted to do something for a friend, but I couldn't.
You know, you read through, for example, your Twitter kind of feed. If there's 3 people saying you're amazing, you don't think, why are they saying I'm amazing? Because they're saying you're amazing because they're a fan. But if there's one saying that they hate you, it's like, why do you hate me? Like, what have I done? I can take criticism, I can definitely take criticism. But if it's just like I don't like you, then I want to know why people don't like me. I've always wanted to be one of those people who didn't really care that much about what people thought about them. But I just don't think I am.
It felt like we had put the city to a standstill.
That's what makes you beautiful.
Radio 1, Radio 1, Reggie.
We got radio. We were very happy.
Stop when we got number 1.
we were quite happy, as you can tell.
Normally it's very, very quiet in the studio, but today...
Reggie had to move studios and everything because there were so many people outside Radio 1, which for us was a bit mad. So we were going to a secret location where we didn't know we were going, and like I remember being stuck in traffic thinking, are we going to get to this interview and is it going to happen? And then, you know, we got there, did the interview, found out we were number 1, and it was amazing.
One Direction, you were officially number 1 in the UK.
So boys, we're number 1.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
Fresh from their UK #1 single, the boys headed out on a European tour to promote the band.
We went to Europe to try and put One Direction on the map. What a trip.
This is nice to kind of chill with the boys and just walk around, and it's really nice to take it in on kind of a tourist kind of level.
Often it's just work, so it's nice to actually come somewhere and actually enjoy it.
See a bit of it.
For the X Factor for me, I'd never even seen a plane in real life, so a bit of a difference for me, like seeing all these places and stuff.
I didn't have a passport before One Direction. I never needed one because I wasn't planning on going anywhere.
I don't think we'll have that many fans here in Milan because like people don't really know who we are. I don't think they just maybe off YouTube if they've seen a clip on YouTube or whatever. But I think that's pretty much it. I don't expect there to be a lot of people there today.
I think like maybe 4,000 people turned up, and it felt like we had put the city to a standstill.
And you know, there was police called down the event and we got called off because it was too dangerous.
Parte della mia vita, so che è una cosa stupida, però non lo so, mi emoziona a parlarne perché...
Ho visto la scritta!
Quante ore di fila? 8 ore di fila? E solo per stringergli la mano e vederli.
Let's be honest, if we were around, say, 10 years ago, people would have no idea who we are because obviously there wasn't Twitter, there wasn't YouTube, so there's none of that. You come over to a country where you've literally done absolutely zero promotion, and just through the power of the internet, that's why we've got such an amazing fan base out here.
We owe all of our career to electricity.
And the internet. We did 4 countries in 4 days, which was such a buzz.
It was pretty amazing.
You've got everything you need, but you want accessories. Got to hold it in your hand. If I changed the world for you, I bet you wouldn't have a clue. Don't you know that I can't stand?
This has been like a mayhem out here. The girls have been screaming and falling and... So how do you cope with it?
Today was an absolute amazing day. Munich and all is just a lovely city, and we're heading off to Amsterdam tonight. Yay! It's great to have the lads there. Travelling around Europe and stuff would be very, very hard to do on your own because, you know, you get lonely just going in and out of hotels, arriving in on flights and just going straight to bed. But if you arrive in a flight with the lads, it's just, we chill for a bit or whatever.
Reverse! Reverse! Quick, Louis! What an idiot!
We made it! Hoi, everyone! Hoi! Hoi! People of Amsterdam! Hoi!
I'm Trisha and I'm Zayn Malik's mum. Go on. Go on, Leah, don't ask you. I'll older then, but oldest second.
I'm Donia and I'm Zayn's oldest sister.
Leah, she's second. Go on, Leah. I knew she would be like this. I said she would.
What did I say?
I think my mum's very proud of what I'm doing. Obviously, it must be a bit strange for her to kind of, you know, overnight for her son to be in this boy band doing something where I'm not at home all the time because I was at home before.
This is my phone, yeah. I do get quite a few funny looks when I get this out. If I'm in McDonald's and there's a young girl behind me, they kind of look at me as saying, why has that granny got a picture of Zayn?
If we could only have this life for one more day.
You know, if someone told me I could change something about my life at the moment, it'd only be that I'd see my friends, my family more.
If I go out the door, like when I've got my suitcase, I'm like, right, I'm going away now, I'll see you whenever I get back or whatever. Walking out the garden with my suitcase, and she'll just start crying, like full on beefing.
When he comes and he sees me crying at the gate, he'll say, Mum, I'm not going to war, do you know? I'm going, you know, to my job, you know, this is what I love doing. The driver comes for him, and I have to stand there and wave back to him.
I know they're very, very, very busy. He doesn't get a chance to text very often, but occasionally I'll get one saying, I love you, Mum.
I have moments because, you know, the empty nest syndrome. Both my babies have gone now. I wasn't expecting Harry to have gone yet.
I wasn't expecting to leave home for a few years, let alone move down to London and kind of be doing all this crazy stuff.
That's part of them growing up and flying, isn't it? I'll just stay at home with the cat.
Last year, my mum and dad got divorced. It must be so much harder for her, actually, because I am living this fantastic life and going through each day and being busy each day, whereas she's still, you know, kind of in the old life that I was in, but without me. And like, she always says that I was like, I'm like one of her best friends, so like it must be really difficult for her to kind of not get upset and not miss me as much. I'm so far away, and like, yeah.
Only us five know what it's like to do these things.
That's what makes you beautiful.
We're One Direction, and this is our TV show.
The boys have had an amazing year. A #1 single that went platinum and broke records. 2 #1 books. And a tour that sold out in 12 minutes.
That is crazy.
After an amazing few months, the boys decided to take a well-deserved break together at Harry's family home.
It's time to get up in the morning.
In the morning.
We've got McDonald's breakfast for you. Just
or
for
any
you.
other brand.
We drove 2 miles to get it. So now get up and eat it. You lazy bunch of selfish, crazy
Harry.
boys.
So we gotta go!
It's time to get up, Get up. Time to get up.
When we got put together, just before Judges' Houses, we had like about a 3-4 week gap, and we all needed a place where we could kind of spend time together and get to know each other properly. And it just turned out that Harry's stepdad's bungalow was the place that we were going to meet.
I think the bungalow's like the main place where we actually became a band. Like, this is where it really started off. Nobody else around, no outside influences, just us, you know, and whatever we wanted to do, whatever we wanted to sing. And I think this is the place where we'll all remember like how we formed all our friendships with each other and how it all works in the band. So I think this place is really important, and without this place we wouldn't have the same sort of band that we have today.
Sounds like a drunk man.
I see it in your eyes, you're disappointed. 'Cause I'm the foolish one that you anointed with your heart. I tore it apart. Hey girl, what a mess I made upon your innocence. No woman in the world deserves this. Here I am, asking you for one more chance. By your side, no more fears, no more crying. But if you walk away, I know I'll fade. 'Cause there is nobody else. It's gotta be you. Only you. It's got to be you. Only you. Only you.
Is it? First person to put the phone on the fire wins.
Go. Actually, I think it's weird to think that a year ago we were sat like here, and just like so much has changed. But this feels like exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, like last time that we were sat here, like round a fire and that at the bungalow, we'd only known each other like 2 weeks.
That was crazy.
And
But
then,
if you actually think about it, we were still sat here talking like we are now.
Yeah.
Like, and we'd only known each other like
We'll
2
look
weeks.
so different. When we came here the first time, we had just been put together, and since then we've done a year's worth of. We've done an arena tour. We've recorded an album. We've been all like so many countries together.
And this time, when we were here last year, only one of us could legally drink. Or
oh
go
yeah,
out.
and that was me.
And now 4 of us can.
Just not you.
Just not you. You're still a bit.
We've done so much stuff, right? But only us 5 feel the same. Like we've gone through the same emotions. We've done it all together. You know, only us 5 know what it's like to do these things.
I wonder, like, the next time that we come here, what will be different and what we will have achieved then.
If we come again this time next year, I'd want to have a #1 album.
And just like a tour that we're really, really happy with. A show that we knew that we gave a good show.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back and like say that we had not necessarily #1, but a hit in a foreign country.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Really good.
If you think about it, what is the worst thing that's happened this year? What would you say was the hardest part?
Steps got back together. It's weird to see how much you can fit into a year, like how much stuff you can do, and how different your life can become.
At the moment, we are feeling like top of the world.
I wake up so many mornings feeling so lucky and so grateful to be where we are.
One Direction is the most exciting and fun part of my life.
You can't wish for things like this. You can't ever sit and imagine that you'd actually get to do this. If I had to call it a job, then this is my job, and I love my job.
We've made new friends in each other, and it's really nice to be able to enjoy this amazing experience with 4 other people.
With the boys, they're going through exactly the same thing you're going through, and we can literally talk to each other about anything, and I think that's a special thing.
I just hope that we do stay really good friends and look back and say what an incredible time we had.
on the X Factor, and you don't really think when you look down the lens that there's 22 million people looking at you. And you go into massive arenas around the UK and Ireland, it becomes real then. What we were aiming for when we were on the X Factor was there in front of us. When I was on it, I was thinking this could be us on our own tour in possibly 2 years' time.
It's all a little bit surreal when you're finally making your album, because it's what you wanted to do, and then you're finally doing it.
It was a weird one because none of us had ever recorded an album, recorded a single, been in a studio before.
Yeah, have that feeling. Because now it sounds like you're driving the track as opposed to you.
And we really had to decide what kind of band we were going to be. We had to be kind of strong on our points as well with like the record label and people like that. We've been given a lot of freedom to say this is what we want to sound like, so we thought, you know, we've got to push for that, because otherwise this isn't going to work, it's got to come from us.
You just hate being left behind, can't stand the thought of her being mine. Get the hell out of my mind.
I remember the release date kept going backwards and backwards and backwards in the diary, and I was just thinking, this can't happen, it's not good, we need to get something out now for them to have.
We're pretty proud of the album that we have, and hopefully it goes on to do big things.
Yeah. I'd love to come back and like say that we had not necessarily #1, but a hit in a foreign country.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Really good.
If you think about it, what is the worst thing that's happened this year? What would you say was the hardest part?
Steps got back together. It's weird to see how much you can fit into a year, like how much stuff you can do, and how different your life can become in such a short space of time.
At the moment, Dave, we are feeling like top of the world. This whole year couldn't have gone any better.
I wake up so many mornings feeling so lucky and so grateful to be where we are. You can't wish for things like this. You can't ever sit and imagine that you'd actually get to do this. If I had to call it a job, then this is my job, and I love my job.
I'm more proud of myself that I've been able to do something like this and kind of stick to it, and just kind of be here and be able to list all these achievements, because there's not a lot of people that will get to do that, and I consider myself very lucky to be where I am.
It's quite a strange thing to think about, that the thing I want most is actually one of my biggest fears, like for us to take over the world and be that huge boy band. At the same time, being known on such a wide scale is a huge fear, because you'll never be able to be the same person ever again.
I travel around going through different experiences every single day with 4 of my best friends who I didn't know 2 years ago and now are as close as brothers.
With the boys, they're going through exactly the same thing you're going through, and we can literally talk to each other about anything, and I think that's a special thing.
I just want to be this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, we've had a good year, but no one can say that we've actually succeeded yet. Until we're passed away and people are still playing our records and people are still buying our music, that's when you'll know that you've done well.
And I just hope that when we look back in however many years, when we're granddads and we look back on the band, and I just hope that we look back on it and think we had the most amazing time, and actually that we stayed true to ourselves.